Hello my friends, it's Danny, and today I'm showing you how to make my easy chicken salad recipe. This is a great recipe to keep in your back pocket when you need a meal that is simple, delicious, nutritious, and comes together very quickly.
So good.
Now, quick side note, make sure that you stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to be answering some C&D fam questions from some recent videos after I'm done showing you how to make this recipe. So if you enjoy a little Q&A, meet me at the end of the video. Now, to keep this chicken salad super simple, I'm using store-bought rotisserie chicken. This is a great ingredient to keep on hand for easy meals throughout the week. A couple weeks back, I showed you how I used rotisserie chicken to make my shortcut chicken noodle soup, and today I'm gonna show you how I use it to make my chicken salad. Now, of course, if you preferred, you could roast some bone-in chicken breasts and shred that up and use it for the recipe, and I will link to a video where I showed you exactly how to do that, and or you could use any type of leftover chicken you have on hand. Either way, no matter which you choose, you're gonna need 2 cups of chopped up chicken. So what I like to do is when I get my rotisserie chicken home from the grocery store, I like to shred it up while it's still warm because it's just easier to work with. So what I'll do is I'll just pull off the skin and remove the meat from the bone, shred it up with my fingers, and then store that in an airtight container in my fridge, and it will happily last for 5 days. And then I use that as a Head Start ingredient throughout the week. Now for this chicken salad, I like to take that shredded chicken and chop it a little bit finer. That's just my personal preference. If you prefer it shredded, you could leave it that way as well. To make this salad, it's very simple. There's no cooking involved. You're gonna get a nice big bowl and start with the 2 cups of chopped up chicken. And then to that, I'm adding 1/3 cup of finely diced celery. That's nice and crunchy and refreshing. 1/3 cup of finely diced red onion. And if you haven't practiced this yet, the easiest way to cut your onion is to trim off the stem side of the onion, then lay it flat, slice it in half, pull off this outer layer, the papery skin, then lay it flat side down, and you're just gonna make a checkerboard with your knife. So I'm gonna make some horizontal slices and then some vertical slices, and then I'll come back over the top and slice straight down. This is definitely worth taking the time to practice because it will save you so much time in the kitchen. Okay, next up, a little bit unconventional for chicken salad, but so delicious. I have a big handful of baby spinach that I have chopped nice and fine. I'm gonna add that in. Not only is that gonna add great color, but it adds a great flavor and great texture as well. Any opportunity to work some leafy greens in. Okay, now to season the chicken salad, I'm gonna start with 1/3 cup of mayonnaise. And you're gonna notice at the grocery store, the majority of mayos have some type of low quality seed or vegetable oil at the base. So I prefer to look for brands like this one, where they use avocado oil. And you can always double check that by spinning the jar around and reading the ingredient list. That's where it's gonna tell you exactly what type of oil is there. I did a video a few weeks back on oil. You all had a lot of questions. So again, I'm gonna be revisiting some of those questions at the end of this video. So hang around if you wanna chat. Then I'm gonna add in 1/3 cup of plain Greek yogurt. Now I love lightening this recipe up a bit by doing a 50-50 mix, yogurt and mayo, but you could absolutely do all mayo or all Greek yogurt, depending on your dietary and or your taste preferences. Then I'm gonna finish that with a 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. And then all I need to do is stir this together. You just want everything to become incorporated, and you're gonna see that the salad looks really nice and creamy. This is truly a simple, classic chicken salad, but easier. You could eat this with a spoon, you could pile it on a sandwich on top of your favorite salad, maybe make a lettuce wrap, but my personal preference is to enjoy it with a nice, hearty, crunchy cracker. And yes, if you were wondering, this is a great recipe to add to your meal prep rotation because you can make it ahead of time, store in an airtight container, and it will happily last in your fridge for up to 5 days.
That is so good.
It's creamy, it has so much flavor, great texture. I cannot wait for you to give this a try, and when you do, come on down to the comments below and let me know what you think. Now, as promised, we are gonna chat Q&A. So a question that I was getting a ton of was which oils do we want to be using and what do we want to be avoiding in our kitchens? So I recently made a video for you all talking about exactly that, including which 5 oils/fats I use as staples in my own kitchen. So if you missed that video, I will link it for you down in the description box below so you can check it out. But I had a few questions that I wanted to address, because many of you were asking me about grapeseed oil. I didn't talk about it in that video, and I'm happy you asked. Grapeseed oil is technically a highly processed oil because it uses high heat and chemical extraction in order to pull the oil out. And therefore, it is not an ideal oil to use in your kitchen. To me, it would fall into the category of a low quality seed and vegetable oil. So personally, I don't buy grapeseed oil. If you wanted to look for a substitute for grapeseed oil, you would want to use avocado oil, because a lot of people use grapeseed oil because it's a flavorless oil, and so is avocado oil, and avocado oil has a really nice high smoke point, so it's a great substitute. The second question I wanted to address was I had some comments saying, hey, Danny, oils are processed as well. That's a processed food. And why are you telling people that we should be using them in our kitchen as if it's a healthy ingredient? So that got me thinking. I thought it was a good point. The truth is, anything in its wholest form is always going to be choice number one. It's always going to be the most nutritious option, right? The fat that is in an avocado, when eaten as an avocado, is going to be the most nutritious, the most stable option that is available. And avocado oil is going to be slightly processed. Same for olives and olive oil, right? Whole olives, option number one. Olive oil, option number two. But the idea here is that sometimes we do enjoy oil in the kitchen, right? There's a satiety factor. There's a pleasure principle. It makes our food delicious. Finishing foods with oil can be just lovely. So yes, incorporating some of these oils, I believe, can be done in a healthy way with moderation and mindfulness. I'm never trying to advocate or encourage anybody to just be, free for all, pouring oil and slathering coconut oil on every single thing they eat. I'm just telling you what I believe are some of the better choices. And I always encourage you to do your own research and do what feels real and true and best for yourselves. And then the third question I wanted to touch on was coconut oil. And I'm not going to dive deep into this, but coconut oil has had quite a bit of controversy over the last few years, several years as a matter of fact, and I included it as one of my top 5 healthy fats that I cook with in my kitchen, and I stand by that for myself. I use that oil on a regular basis, and I believe it to be a healthy choice from the research that I've done. Again, I encourage you all to do your own research and decide what feels real and best for you. But I did want to let you know that I do have a video where I go deeper into that content as well. I did an entire video on coconut oil and my thoughts and resources that I used. So I'm going to link that for you down in the description box as well, so you can better inform yourself and educate yourself and make decisions that you feel really good about. Okay, that is all for today. Thanks for sticking around. If you have specific questions that you want me to chat about, and or if you like this Q&A at the end of the video, let me know and we can start adding them to the end of every cooking video so that we can keep the conversation rolling. Okay, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all soon. Cheers! But being a true Libra at heart, my personal preference is a little bit of both. We're going to chat Q&A.
We're going to chat Q&A?
Yeah, like we're going to talk Q&A.
Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
It does?
To me it does. Not all, that's what matters.
So you ready?